because there are 380 steps to arrive to the top and watch Paris from above. So this is it in front of you, and if you keep looking to the left, you will see flowers on the ground, and you see a flame. Every year on 14th of July, the army starts a military show to go from Arc de Triomphe down the Champs-Élysées, the whole way obelisk, Egyptian obelisk, and we will follow the same route. So right, you can see far away a very modern district with skyscrapers. It is La Défense, a new business district that was built outside the border of Paris. Not allowed to build in Paris in this style. We cannot build skyscrapers. Only smaller buildings. You see now many streets are closed because they are preparing a party on Champs-Élysées tonight, but it was cancelled for security in the evening, but it is only to watch a firework, but not a real one. It will be projected on the Arc de Triomphe on a screen, and this way they would like to avoid the big crowds that can turn into, you know, right now there are a lot of attacks and violence, so we would like to avoid this and have a quiet evening. So Champs-Élysées is now the street we're on. Look to the right, you see this huge suitcase? This is Louis Vuitton, and it's not a real suitcase, it's just hiding works behind it. And next door is the Louis Vuitton building. Do you see it to the right? One of the most expensive stores in the city. Louis Vuitton has been at this spot for 150 years, and it is their headquarters, also their shop at Louis Vuitton. People like the Champs-Élysées. Some are very expensive, like Vuitton or Longchamp or La Durée to your right hand side, selling macaroons. But you also have cheap stores in galleries on the left side. Look at the gallery on your left, very, very cheap. But next door is l'Alsace, very, very expensive. A traditional French restaurant from the region of Alsace. All this section of Champs-Élysées that you are looking at so far, as soon as we pass this roundabout that we shall cross now, it becomes very quiet. It's completely different. It's still Champs-Élysées, but it's totally different. No shops, no bars, no restaurants, no cafes, only trees, gardens, 2 museums, one fancy fontaine. It is a major shopping street, but only for designers. If you like Dior, Ricci, Givenchy, Versace, Chanel, this would be your place. So that is the quiet part of Champs-Élysées. Every year on 14th of July, which is our national day, you can already see in front of you at the other end of the street. The street is 1 mile long, 1.5 kilometers. So very convenient of Napoleon. You see it's on your right hand side now, and we will be driving closer to it at a later time. And to the left, if you look through the trees, this is the Élysée Palace. Do you see the golden gate made of wrought iron? This is where our president, Emmanuel Macron Square, including King Louis XVI and Queen Marie Antoinette. Obviously, after the French Revolution, the guillotine was removed, and it was replaced by this Egyptian obelisk, which was a present from the King of Egypt to the King of France. That was in the 19th century. It is the old before it is enforced. On your right hand side, this is the River Seine, and soon, in an hour, you will be taking a cruise on the river. By then the sun will be up with restaurants and cafes, and as I said, free of charge. To the right hand side, the building that has two clocks on the main facade with a black roof, this is a museum, the Musée d'Orsay. The Musée d'Orsay used to be a train station. That's why it has the clocks. And it was a train station built in 1900. But very soon, the train station became obsolete. It was too small for trains. So it became an auction house, then it became a theater, and in the 1980s it became a museum. And it is a museum for 19th century art. If you like, building of the Louvre to the left. The Louvre is a U-shaped building with two long parallel arms, and it is now the largest museum in the world. Roman art, Greek art, medieval art, Mesopotamian art. There isn't much Asian locks. People in love would buy a lock, they write their initials on the lock, they close it on the bridge, and they throw the key in the river. The legend is that as long as the key is not found, you will be in love forever. But actually, the bridge became so heavy that it almost crumbled down. So our mayor has removed all the locks, the side of the bridge, and has replaced it with the glass panels that you have seen. To the left is a fancy hotel, to a 5-star hotel. Imagine the beautiful view the people have from their windows. They can see the river, they can see the opposite bank. This is an island, and it is the largest island in the River Seine in Paris. It became a prison, and Marie Antoinette, the Queen of France, was locked up in this prison for a long time before she was killed. Now it is a museum. It is the Museum of the French Revolution. So if you want to visit cells of prisoners, if you want to know about Robespierre, Danton, Marat, the leaders of the French Revolution, inside, that is pretty dark, that is a hospital. It's called L'Hôtel Dieu, and it is one of the oldest hospitals in the city. It actually was there since the Middle Ages. But this building is now from the 19th century, but the location has been occupied by a hospital since the Middle Ages. And now, to your right-hand side, this major building that looks like a palace is the City Hall. It is the city halls, because Paris has 20 districts. Every district has its own town hall, but this is the major one. When there is an event that concerns the whole city as a whole, for example, the Olympic Games of last year. So to the right-hand side, this is our city hall where our mayor lives. One part of the building is her living grounds, and the rest is offices and a wing for guests of the city of Paris. And now time to enter the island of La Cité, so you get a better view of Notre Dame Cathedral. We are going to take the island of La Cité and have a better view of the landmarks. You can have your cameras ready, because look at the beautiful view of the river to your right hand side, typical of Paris. To the left you see a second island, the smaller island to the left, called Saint Louis. It doesn't have landmarks, but it's very, very expensive to live there. To the right hand side, the green kiosks is a flower market, very old flower market, very busy during the day, not at this time of the day though. And just past the last kiosk, if you look to the right, you can see the Sainte-Chapelle, a lovely small church that used to hold the relics of Jesus Christ, especially the crown of thorns of Jesus. Now, the crown of thorns is not in this chapel anymore. It is in Notre Dame on your left. Even to slow down, that's the best view you can have. Works are not finished yet. Works are not finished yet, that's why you have the cranes still working. And now we are crossing the Latin Quarter. Look to your right hand side. You see the small streets? They're pedestrian streets, not for cars, not for buses. It is the only district of Paris that has kept its Middle Ages, narrow streets with a central gutter. Paris we had to change. So he changed all of Paris. He destroyed districts and reconstructed it in the style that you know. But he never had enough time to finish this district. So this district remained very authentic and very medieval. It's called the Latin Quarter. And the name Latin refers to the fact that it was a student area a long time ago, and students spoke Latin. That's why it's called the Latin Quarter. What is interesting is the university from the 13th century. And on your left-hand side, this is the Collège de France, another university from the 16th century. And further to the left, the building with a flag at the entrance is on your left-hand side. It's called the Pantheon. The Pantheon used to be a church. That's why there is a cross at the top. But it remained a church only until the French Revolution. So this is the town hall of District number 5. It is not the town hall of Paris. The town hall of districts are in charge of the affairs of the district. For example, garbage collection are given in the garden to teach people to grow orchids and other rare flowers. What a beautiful view now to the right on the palace. You see the garden that extends in front of the palace, but actually the garden extends on your left side as well. It goes the whole way to the other end. They also like to have sites like this church on your right hand side, Saint-Sulpice, but not so famous to avoid tourist crowds. This is a lovely Renaissance church, but it was unfinished. If you look at the right hand side bell tower, you can left bank, because the water flows east to west. Here, we're back on the left bank. Look at the beautiful view of the Louvre on the opposite side of the river. That's where you can grasp the huge size. It's a gigantic museum. To the left, this is the Faculty of Fine Arts main entrance. And now we will follow the left bank of the river until we go back almost where we started. Very lucky, and I was able to show you some of the major landmarks of the city. So the Louvre and the Tuileries Garden on your right hand side, I must specify that the Tuileries Garden was the point where they launched the Olympic balloon during the Olympic Games. Do you remember the balloon that went up the sky carrying the Olympic flame during the Olympic Games in 2024? It was launched right here in this garden. Now, because it's Christmas and New Year's time, there is a lot of animation in the garden. It's temporary. It's not permanent. It's just animation for children right now for the air. This is also another animation. It keeps turning until your stomach goes mad. But kids like that, so fair for children in the garden. To your left-hand side, this is the Musée d'Orsay. You saw it from the other side of the... It was built in 1900 not to be a museum, to be an exhibition hall for a fair. It was recycled into a museum. To the left, this building is our Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Again, this is a workplace that you would visit, if you wish, during Heritage Days in September. Louis XIV, the builder of Versailles, he lived in the 7 invalid soldiers of his army. Go straight, circle. Yes, these houses, and it goes from Middle Ages until today. You can visit the uniform section, the weapons section, Napoleon section. It's an...
यहाँ से तो पूरा पेरिस आ गया। 2 चीजें दिखने लग गई। एक तो ये 3 दिख रहे हैं, ये और एक...
And coming up to your right is the beautiful facade of the Church of the Invalids. If you have your cameras ready, this is your chance. It is the most impressive 17th century facade in the city. Today, as I told you, it's not a church anymore. It is the tomb of Napoleon. So, the tomb of Napoleon, it is still closed because it's a bit early, but it will open through the day. You go through this golden entrance, and there is a crypt that was dug underground that contains the body of Napoleon, include the suburbs in the city, and give it other numbers, 21, 22, 23, 24, and they call this Greater Paris. Not everybody's happy about that, but, well, it hasn't happened yet, but they are getting ready for it, maybe at a... And look, they are standing there, bringing flowers, bringing little candles, putting love locks. It's incredible that so many years after Diana died, people still love her and pay pilgrimage to this memorial of hers, which was, as I said, not a memorial, but recycled into a memorial. The tunnel is right under the bus now, in the tunnel underground.